Hi, welcome to Losing Weight with Elizabeth. I'm Elizabeth, I'm your hostess, and today we're going to be talking about the 10 common weight loss mistakes, although I think there's 100 or more. There's a lot of mistakes. What do you think is your worst, what are your worst mistakes?
Thinking that not eating is gonna make me lose weight.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you know what? To go right with that, I had a lady who wasn't losing weight with me for a long time, and I finally asked her to bring in her tracker, and she was a good. She wrote everything down really well, and so she brings it in, and it was like 900 and 1,000 calories. That's not enough, ever, right? And I went, well, you have to start eating. Plus the fact, that she is diabetic, which will go away if she loses this weight, which is really great because it's because of this. And I said, you have to start eating. And don't you know, the minute she raised it to 1,200 to 15, she started losing weight. Now, I do not understand how we will see. You see people who don't eat or starving or whatever, and they're thin and gaunt and everything like that, but this woman was not losing any weight. And I think what it does also is it ruins your metabolism. You think you can make up for yesterday. You can't. You just have to start fresh. Anybody else make any mistakes that you could think of that you just know are wrong? I made so many, Lynn.
I know I don't drink enough water.
Mm-hmm. Do you drink coffee or tea?
I do.
Okay. How many cups of coffee do you think you drink a day?
2 to 3.
So that would be about 20 ounces, maybe even 24, 8 ounces. Like this cup is 8 ounces. So there you have 24. Now you need 40 more. Do you have like a cup of tea at night or one bottle of water during the day?
I have 1 bottle of water during the day.
So there's 12 ounces. So see, you're already up to 36. So if you drank one more bottle of water, you'd be pretty much all set.
Okay.
Water's really good for you for so many other reasons, but if there's no other better reason, let's do it for our skin. It's really good for your skin. But see, they want you to have 64 ounces. Although I did read a report this week that was depending on your weight, how much water you would drink. And it was ridiculous. We would never leave the restroom. Never leave the restroom. And I had a friend who lost weight by very, very strict diet. And he was drinking, soda bottles full of water. And he was ending up at Yale New Haven all the time because they thought he had Meniere's disease, equilibrium off.
Yeah.
Because he was actually waterlogged.
Oh, my word.
Wow.
And he would get violently sick, and then he would get better because his body would expel all of that water, and then he'd go back to it, and he never told them that he was drinking all that water.
Yeah, my husband with his kidney failure too, he was drinking too much water, believe it or not, and it had an effect. He always thought the more water the better, but when he was in kidney failure, that wasn't always the case because it wasn't being expelled.
Right,
so it's definitely a balance.
It's a balance. Don't go over 64 ounces. You really don't need to. Okay. And if you honestly, fruit has water in it, vegetables have water, so it's not as big a deal. A lot of people say, well, I just can't get all that water in. That is like if I was going to take the top 10 things to lose weight, that would be number 10.
Okay.
So I think that should be something that don't worry about it. You probably get more water than you think.
Okay.
So that's a good one though to think about. Anything else?
Well, I'm better now, but like I said, now if I have a snack, I bring my dish in. I don't take the whole bag in, which I used to do years ago. It's like, okay, and I just kept reaching. I don't do that anymore.
Yes.
I'll just take what I should have, and
just what you
when
should
it's gone,
have.
it's gone, right?
I was more like what you would do. I would eat really terrible, like the weekend. I was a weekend eater, and then I would starve all week. And that was just a waste of time, too. I mean, I lost 93 pounds, but I didn't lose it that way. I lost it by trying to get a little bit of control. I lost it with the 1,200 calories every day during the week, which was reasonable, and then shooting up on the weekend. Well, that doesn't sound right at all. Shooting my calories would go up significantly on the weekend. So that's why I lost 0.6 a week, simply because I was doing it ever so slow, ever so slow, because I'm an indulger. I don't like that word cheat. So let's start with this. Focus on total calorie consumption. Now, this was one of the problems that I found with a couple of people. They didn't want to give up their treats. And I get that. But most of those treats are not good for us anyway. But we have to be, if you have 12 to 1,500 calories a day, you really want to be selective. Right. And this one lady was eating a bag of potato chips and a sleeve of Oreos. Or a bag of Fritos and, a sleeve of Ritz crackers with peanut butter. She was counting the calories. But were they healthy calories? No. And do you think those potato chips were even slightly filling? No. She was getting no nutritional value at all. So you really want to pick and choose your calories because, well, first of all, good food tastes good. Better than junk. It really does. This whole week, I made. Okay, I'm going to give you a quick recipe. Roasted asparagus. Everybody like roasted asparagus or asparagus? I washed them, then I put them in the pan, still a little bit wet. I used 1 tablespoon, which I'm going to show you. 1 tablespoon of olive oil. I poured it on, and then I just rolled it with my hands with a little salt and pepper. Okay. Then I baked it. Till I like them really soft. So when they got really soft, I put Parmesan cheese on the top and then another 5 minutes. Just so that it would be like a little brown. And then I put codfish that I had made with horseradish sauce. There's a sauce, not just horseradish, but it's a sauce with pancos, just a sprinkling. And I put that on top of the asparagus. I'm telling you, I wish I had that to go home to tonight. It was so good and so low in calories. Right. That was like under 350 calories. The asparagus were nothing to speak of. Right. Just, I probably used 2 tablespoons of but I had the asparagus for 3 days, so 2 tablespoons wouldn't really be a big deal. Right. So see how you can have it. Wouldn't that be tastier and better than potato chips and Oreos? Plus,
absolutely.
The indigestion, everything about it. Here's one I tried a lot, and this is a waste. Anything over an hour of exercise is just a waste of time. I used to exercise like 2 hours a day before I would go to work. So that I thought so I could eat. But what I was really doing is you're almost eating, your body's eating itself. It's eating the muscle because once you stop fat burning, you have to start eating starts eating into your muscle. So it's not good. And I would do it, and it never was good. In fact, there was a teacher there that used to be on the recumbent bikers. We like to call it the recliner. Mm-hmm. She would grade her papers there, and she would be on it for 2 or 3 hours a night because I would go back at night sometimes. And she would be there. I know, it was absolutely insane. And I'm talking about her. And she, right, hypocrite that I am. And she never lost any weight. And she was very, very soft. Not like it. You would think her legs would be like, solid as a rock. Mm-hmm. But they weren't because that wasn't good exercise. Like if you take a class at your gym, that's enough. Mm-hmm. You don't have to do anything else. You're done. It's an hour, you're done. I'm not staying in the gym longer than an hour unless I'm socializing, and I only do that occasionally because I hate to go. Hate to go. Attempting to lose weight too fast. Well, who hasn't tried that? You know, we're always looking for the magic pill, the magic diet. You know, we're always trying right there with those weight loss supplements that they're finally taking off the shelves at the pharmacies now. Because, you know, some of those pills, first of all, could just be the worst thing in the world for you, but they could just have sugar in them.
Right.
Or they found sand in some of them.
Oh,
and
my.
yeah, I know. The list of things that they found in them were ridiculous. And really, you're talking about $25 for a 30-day thing of something that really could be really unhealthy for you. I mean, I understand you want to take a vitamin, especially vitamin D, very important, and calcium, very important. But past that, you should try to get as many nutrients, vitamins, you know, minerals and all that in your actual food. That would be, you know, really good. But I'll tell you, one time during a very bad time in my life, I lost 60 pounds in about 4 months. Really short period of time. I couldn't eat anything. You know, like a half a cheese sandwich, half an apple. That was the most I would eat ever. And I weighed 30 pounds more than I do right now. And I tell you, I looked thinner then because it was this.
Yeah.
You want to lose weight slowly so that your body adjusts to the best of its ability at the age that you are. You want your skin to adjust. You want everything. You don't want, you know, as I said last week, and I will say every week, you need 10 pounds on your bottom for your face. Mae West said that, not me. I didn't make that up. How about avoiding weightlifting? I just cannot believe how, I mean, you know, once you start to know stuff, you're like really surprised that other people don't know it. But ladies will say to me all the time, but I don't want to bulk up. Yeah, there's no chance of that. I've been weightlifting for 11 years. I'm not bulky. You know, I can't get the muscle I want. You know, I'd like to, you know, when you move your arm, don't you like to see that muscle? It's
I guess I would. I don't know. I've never seen
I love that. Sharon will always say, "Ooh, your muscle," you know, and that for me is really great to have a, you know, to be able to see the muscle. I just didn't realize that when I was younger that I could actually have these nice muscles, not, you know, ridiculous muscles. And you know, when women are muscle builders or weightlifters, whatever, that, you know, real ones, you know, that have, you know, they're eating tons of protein. I don't know, taking some sort of supplements. I don't know what they're doing. They're lifting a lot heavier than I would lift, or that you should ever lift. They're doing something different than what I would
I
be
don't think
doing.
it looks good though. I don't like to see women with all these big muscles.
You know what it
You know?
is a lot of times when they're doing the shows,
Yeah.
they're really showing their muscles. But when they're not, you know, when they're not flexing, you could just see, like when they move their arm or something, you could see the muscle. But you don't see it quite as much as, you know, like you see when you see it on those shows, which is like you're going, oh no, it's horrible.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to look like
I would, yeah, I don't like that. I just like fit. Fit's good. So don't avoid weightlifting. Start right away. You said you guys were going to try to do some of that last week. So I would get out the 3 pounds, 5 pounds, 7 pounds, whatever kind of weight you have, 3 times a week. You can find a million different things. Arm exercises on Google. You'll find something on YouTube in a second that you could just follow along with and watch, and it won't take you that long, and it'll be a really good thing. How about diet soda?
That's worse for you.
It cleans nails. If you have a rusty nail, you can put it into diet soda or regular soda, and it will clean it like a brand new nail. What is that doing to your insides?
Exactly.
That's no good. Yeah, that's the worst thing.
Not to mention that it fools your body. Your body still thinks it's sugar, and body reacts like it's sugar, which makes you have all the same issues you do with sugar. So
With
why
all
would
the
you want
same
to do
issues
it?
you have
Right,
with
right.
sugar. It's just it's a loop, like a drug loop. Sugar is a drug, and it you have it, then you're tired, then you need more. Do you know? We'll go to fad diets. They're somewhere in here. But did you know that in like maybe the 70s or 80s, that's how they used to sell sugar. Give yourself a lift. Help you stay on your diet by having some sugar. Wasn't that brilliant? Little did we know that in the end result that everyone would be having so much sugar that it's in processed food like you wouldn't believe, let alone salt. That processed food, none of us should be having any of it. As little as possible. 20%. You can have 20%. That's my theory of if you have 20%, because we're just not perfect. But but I did hear that they're starting to have already cooked quinoa. Have you ever heard of it?
Oh, I love quinoa.
There you go. Well, they have it already cooked at Costco's. They have it already cooked,
Oh,
and
wow.
Julie told me today it's really delicious, and it's just you just take what you want out of the bag,
Oh, wow.
ready to go. Much better for you than brown rice or white rice. Much better, and loaded with protein. So you could find that new one. So we're back to diet, and no diet food either. Wouldn't you rather have a tablespoon of good preserves, even though they would have a little sugar in it, than some sugar-free preserve? They put something in it. There's some sort of poison. It's not just, raspberries. It's got, if you can't read the label, if you don't know what it is, if it has more than 5 ingredients, it's processed beyond belief. And don't you love that the processed food is right across from the tin foil or the toilet paper? You can't get away from going down those aisles. I hate that so much. It makes all the difference in the world. So consuming diet foods, even, like I was reading the other day on my site on Losing Weight with Elizabeth is on Facebook. And I was reading on my site, and the lady was saying she was having one of those frozen dinners. I don't want to say the name. And first of all, they're not filling.
No.
I don't think they're filling at all. And I don't think they taste very good either. And then you get it, and you're like going, it's this much food. How will that ever fill you up?
Exactly.
And you don't even know what's on the outside. You can't read. You have to be a science teacher or work at the Smithsonian Science Center to even know what half this stuff is. I mean, they have scientists working for processed food industries that they have you all hooked up, and then they'll give you their rice dish, say, or let's just say their corn chip, and then you'll take one bite of it, and whatever lights up in your brain, I'm not even kidding, it's the truth. Whatever lights up in your brain means that your brain is getting like this satisfaction, and they will put more of that in. That's how they get the.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
There's a great book on that.
Yeah,
it's wonderful. It's sugar, salt, fat, but it might be a different order.
Yeah.
But it's those 3 words, and it's about the whole industry, how they fool you, what they do, all the testing. It's a really enlightening book.
I saw this man interviewed on Jon Stewart, and he was saying that he went in to talk to the scientists, and he was expecting it would be like Igor, and say, come in, something like that, right? And he said here they were, lovely scientists, all in their white lab coats with people. They have over 6,000 people that they were testing.
Wow.
The corn chips or the whatever it is, they're testing it on you. It's an actual job.
Wow.
I'm like going, that's an actual job. So because what they want to make it is what?
Addictive.
There you go, addictive.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they
They
want to
test
make.
the mouth feel of it for people, how it feels in your mouth.
And that's
everything.
all in your
Yeah.
brain when it
Yeah.
goes in your mouth. The mouth feel, how quickly it melts. It's a science. It's a real.
Wow.
I know. So you wonder why we have any trouble. We have trouble losing weight. This is, it's packed against us. The other night, I'm watching television, and I mostly tape everything because the commercials are unbelievable. I feel like I sent you a text on this, and there were more food commercials than you can imagine. One burger after another, having juice drip out of it, and French fries. It was just a nightmare. Steaks on the grill. They were doing steaks at the steakhouse, and they had it on the grill, and I was going, well, no wonder we're hungry every second. You know how they say if you turn on the water, you might have to go to the restroom, not to get too whatever. It's the power of suggestion.
Yeah, right.
And it's. I was talking to a guy at the gym, and we were watching, and we were watching TV, and there was a hamburger commercial. They never looked like that when I got them. Ever. And what's in them?
Right.
There's the other part. What's in those hamburgers? Anyway, he said he was from South America. He said they don't have food commercials.
Really?
The other countries don't have food commercials. So I know that was a little bit surprising.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
surprised
that's probably
by that
because
too.
they eat healthier all around. They're probably eat
right.
whole foods. They don't buy into that.
I know,
stuff,
I
so
know.
Yeah.
why
There's no
advertise
fast
it?
food
Yeah, right,
places.
right.
Yeah, McDonald's and Kentucky Fried Chicken have just moved into China, and now they're starting to have a weight problem.
Wonder why.
Oh boy.
Wonder
How interesting
why.
is that?
Isn't that unbelievable? Because fast food, it's unbelievable. And they were saying at one they were using horse meat. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I heard that too.
Yeah.
Was it Burger King? I think?
Yeah. And the thing is,
Like
you know what? I know we're animal lovers and all of us understand that, but if you're going to eat beef, what's the difference,
Yeah.
But then when I said that, I thought to myself, well, then you have to say cat, dog, and that you're talking about pets, so
yeah.
you can't say that. Cutting fat out of your diet. First of all, let's get rid of the margarine.
Right. I would rather have butter than margarine. I don't.
I'm
I don't
never
buy
having margarine again.
I don't
I'm
buy
sure I'll have it
margarine.
in 15 minutes. The second I get up from here, somebody will hand me a pat of margarine. But I will never have margarine.
I don't either.
And here's the worst part. You know how you go to a restaurant, they bring the bread, then they bring the olive oil. You should just tell them you might want the bread because it has to be good bread, doesn't it? It can't be junk bread. It has to be Miletti's or.
I'm good with any kind of bread.
Yeah, I'm not. It's got to. I like to have I love Italian bread, but it has to be really good. But if they bring oil, I tell them to bring butter. I don't want the oil because I have no idea how many tablespoons I could have.
Yeah.
But I will know how many pats. So that's important. Focusing on just weight loss and not other things. Like I notice when something feels a little loose or it looks a little bit better, or here's my favorite one, is you do your belt and you're looking, you say, wait a minute, that was here, now it's here. You could see where it was, maybe where it was pulling, but, but your belt is a good indicator. So have you ever had any indicator? 83 pounds, please.
Yeah. Well, I blame physicians for this because that's all they care about is the number on the scale, and it's very frustrating.
Well, because they can barely address the issue with you.
Yeah.
Believe me, every single time I would go, my doctor would always say to me, "You should try this way of eating, he would never say that I needed to lose weight or anything. Just loaded me up with, cholesterol medicine and blood pressure medicine. But he always wanted me to lose weight. But he would give me that diet, the diabetic diet, and it would have that little line because it was from the time of. It must have been a 40-year-old diet, and it had that little line from where it had been folded somehow by mistake, and Xeroxed, and not like copied. It was, and it was always the same thing: a cup of green beans, a half a cup of beets, a half of grapefruit. Who could lose weight eating like that? I mean, I love string beans, but I'm gonna make them. You're not giving me steamed string beans. And I'm not doing that.
Yeah, but it's amazing how you can try something on like every day for 3 months and it doesn't fit, and then all of a sudden you try it on and it's like, oh my God, it fits. It's like, how did that happen? And it's a great feeling.
It's the best feeling ever. I still have 3 things that I just simply cannot get rid of from the days when I was heavy. I really can't. And I had to change my whole style because I was always wearing, caftans and muumuu type outfits, and nothing fitted. Right. So that made a big difference. How about focusing on setbacks? This is something we should not focus on. We should only focus on going forward. All right, we had a setback. That's all right. This last one is a little bit hard on me to even say out loud, and I haven't said it in any of the other classes, but I think I'll say it here because I know you guys well enough to say it. But we can't make excuses. We know what we're doing. We know how to stop it. This isn't new to us, how to lose weight. We all know every one of these things we've tried to do the wrong way. We have, we have eaten bad calories. We have, tried to out-exercise the food that we ate. We've tried to lose weight too fast. We've taken supplements. God knows I've taken the doctor used to give me so many diet pills I can't even tell you. You focus on the setbacks and then let it all set you up. So there you go. See, and I turned it off and it still goes off, right? And making excuses. So this week, let's try not to make any excuses. Okay. Let's try to have a really healthy week. Don't diet, edit. That's what we want to do. All right. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Have a healthy week. Oh, yeah, I didn't say one thing about making